Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be doing my top 5 predictions for the Nintendo Direct. Now, as of recording this video, Nintendo have announced that they will be releasing a Direct in the next few hours. They'll be releasing it at about 10 p.m. UK time and 2 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. And with that brings around predictions for what games we could possibly see for this direct, and I'll just be going over some of my thoughts of what games could possibly be shown at the direct. So for number 5 is a final Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom trailer. Now, we haven't really seen we have seen a lot of trailers for the game, but there's been a lot of mystery behind these trailers because we've been given so little information about it. We know some things about the game, like Sky Islands, Ganondorf, the mysterious hand, and I think that with this final trailer, it could still go in on the mystery, but it could go in very, very hard, as like we could see more. We could get more of the mystery behind the hand, more about how Ganondorf was trapped, because we don't really know that much about how Ganondorf was trapped and became a corpse by the hand thing. So I would say we could have this final trailer where we could maybe focus on Ganondorf and Link, or maybe we could see the different Links from the different games, so starting from the original Zelda up until now, until all Breath of the Wild or something, and then we could see Ganondorf or Ganon, depending on because I think we'll see Ganondorf, but maybe some of Ganon as well, and just seeing them throughout the ages, and this being the final confrontation between both Link and Ganondorf, if this is going to be a final big confrontation between these two iconic enemies, I would say, because they have been going at it, they have been fighting each other for years and years by now, in terms of the release of each of the games. So yeah, I would say a final Tears of the Kingdom trailer to see where this game is going would be kind of cool to see. For number 4 is a Legend of Zelda port. Now, we have had, in terms of ports, for the Zelda from the Zelda games on the Switch, we have had both the Link's Awakening remake and the Skyward Sword remake, and not a lot of other remake games. The only other games we've had from the Zelda series that isn't Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom that's coming out in the next few days, is the Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and a variety of other games from older systems where they were brought into the whole Nintendo Pass thingy, and along with Hyrule Warriors, both the definitive and Age of Calamity versions. And yeah, I would say there could be a possibility of a port, maybe either Twilight Princess HD or the Wind Waker HD, and I've got a feeling that it's either going to be one or the other, or both. And I've got a really strong feeling it could be both, and they could either be in a bundle, like you can get them both, you can play them whenever you want, kind of like the Mario 3D All-Stars did, where you could either play Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or Mario Galaxy whenever you wanted. They could go with that, with Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker HD, but if not, they could possibly just keep them separate. But there is a possibility they're probably going to be cost at full price. Maybe there is a possibility of that, and yeah, it could go either way. But I wouldn't mind there being a Zelda port of either Twilight Princess or the Wind Waker, because those are really cool games, and I feel like those have a really fun premise with both of them, whereas Twilight Princess is just you are fighting Zant, who can control the Twilight areas. And with Wind Waker, it's basically just Castaway, but in Zelda. It's basically that. Or Pirates themed Zelda or something like that. They're both really cool Zeldas in their own way, and I wouldn't mind seeing them being ported over to the Switch. For number 3 is Super Mario Odyssey 2. Now, with Mario Odyssey, it's a really fun game. I think a lot of people have gotten used to the whole Mario Odyssey thing, the whole moons and stuff, and the whole different kingdom themes and stuff like that. So I feel like having another Mario Odyssey game would be cool to see, and see how far Nintendo can go in terms of the kingdoms and all the different kinds of missions we could see, and how it could improve over the original, because Mario Odyssey has some really cool aspects, like the different moves you can perform, like a somersault, I think, a dive, a long jump, all the original Mario moves that you could do throughout the different Mario games. And I feel like if we added like a few new moves, maybe, or maybe different enemies we could capture and use their different abilities, that would be cool. And maybe we could have some old and new kingdoms, and maybe the new kingdoms we could see them in a different aspect, maybe, kind of like how in God of War Ragnarok we saw some of the old realms we got to experience in the 2018 game from different perspectives, even though we were going through a lot of the same areas. That would be something quite cool to see, and that could be something brought into Mario Odyssey 2. For number 2 is Metroid Prime 4. So yeah, this is kind of an obvious one, I would say, because we were given basically a title and barely anything else, apart from, I believe, the game being reworked or something, from what I've heard. I can't be 100% sure, but I did hear something about the game having to be redone or something. Don't take my word for it, that's just from what I've heard. And for Metroid Prime 4, it would be quite cool to see just like a small teaser trailer or something, just to see where the game is at, or maybe how the game is going to play. Maybe something like Bayonetta 3, when we first saw a sort of teaser trailer for that, where we saw Bayonetta fighting against someone in the cover of darkness or something like that, or in the shadows. And that'd be something quite cool to see in terms of Samus, of like what Samus is doing, and how she is, just going about the galaxy, being her bounty hunter, and just doing stuff like that. And it would be cool to see something like that, just her fighting in the shadows, and then we get to see Ridley or something, or a new enemy or whatever. But that'd be quite cool to see, and just so we have some idea of what's going to be happening, or something like that. And for number 1 is the Wave 4 pack for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, I would say there is a possibility, or I would say a big possibility, that we're going to see the next wave of tracks for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because I would say that a lot of these packs have been getting a lot. I would say just been bringing in more and more tracks, and I would say I would love to see what tracks will be put into this wave if we do get to see them. And because I always loved, well, in terms of the old tracks that we get to see in each wave, I do love how each track is updated to the Mario Kart 8 gameplay formula thing, in terms of how they use anti-gravity, the new items, the gliding, that kind of thing, and in terms of how each track can use them to their advantage, in terms of, and how they can revamp these old tracks and make them refreshing and cooler. And it will be just really nice to see how these old tracks can just feel new and fresh. And I will have to see how these new tracks will compare to the other ones, because I do enjoy a lot of the tracks that have been coming out of these previous waves, and I think it would just be really something really cool to see, and how what new tracks we will be able to see. So that's been my top 5 predictions for the Nintendo Direct. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.